My name's Caroline. I am at Boston University. I just finished up my freshman year. I am currently a health science major in Sargent College of Health and Rehabilitation Sciences. So one of the reasons I picked Boston University was because I really wanted to just jump out of the nest, like take the leap and really try out this new thing called independence. And so being on the other side of the country has been really good for me because it forces you to try and learn things on your own because you know that your parents are really far away, and it also helps force you to sort of find this network of close friends because everyone there has to take care of each other and we're all in this new boat together. I also picked it because I was really undecided when I started at college, so I wanted a school that had every major under the sun, and all those majors were really well funded. They had a really solid program in place. That ended up being really helpful for me because I did end up switching my major from freshman year to what I'll be doing next year. What I like most about BU is that location really helps. I know there's a lot of schools in Boston, but the location of it is really central, and unlike other urban campuses where you're sort of scattered around the city, you actually do have this chunk of campus. So it's sort of like BU students can sort of trot on their own turf within the city of Boston. It's also really easy to get public transportation, which means it's really easy to go into the city for a day, go out for a meal. It also means you have the whole city to have internships and jobs, which makes it really accessible so you're not just stuck on campus all the time. I also just love all of the professors there. They're really not there just to do research, and teaching you is just like their side job. They really do want to take you under their wing, get you to where you want to go. So in all majors, you actually have a faculty advisor that's assigned to you your first couple years, but once you find a professor that you want to work with, you get to change that and have them sort of mentor you and help you get where you want to go. So they're really looking to have that personal connection, which has been really nice at school. So my least favorite part about BU is probably our president's relationship with the rest of our campus. We feel there's sort of a distance between what he is taking our university towards and where the students sort of want to be. And his goals are they're fine, there's nothing wrong with them, but sometimes in the emails we get, you just kind of stare at them for a while and think about it. But his staff, so a lot of the deans are very approachable, they're very friendly. So he is surrounded by people that students really like, but the president himself is probably my least favorite part of the year. So Saratoga High definitely prepared me for the new academics that I would be experiencing in college. Of course, it is college, so it is harder. I wouldn't say that you're going to come out of Saratoga High and say, oh wow, college is really easy, because it's not. However, Saratoga High gave you the platform and the foundation that you need, so you already know your study skills, you know how to stay organized, and you're also really adaptable. So my first semester, I did what I had done in high school, which worked enough, but I was able to adapt halfway through the semester and realize what I did need to change because college is a big adjustment academically. So Boston University dorms are really diverse, so we have a lot of different living situations you could find yourself in. We have big traditional dorms that most of the freshmen will live in. So those are traditional dorm style, usually a double. And then you share a communal bathroom. There's no impacted housing at BU, so they don't turn doubles into triples. There's also a lot of suite style dorms, so that's what I was in my freshman year. So there it was 5 of us to 1 bathroom, and that worked out really well. I also was living in a living learning community, which BU has a lot of, so whether that's a language or an academic program, it sort of sets you up with this immediate group of friends because you all have this common interest, and you already know that it sort of helps break the ice a little bit because everyone's a little nervous. And then you really feel like you're coming home when you land on your floor and everyone's doors open. You recognize everyone, say hello. So that was really comforting to have, especially as a freshman when you're going in with no one. Food is very good at BU. We have traditional dining hall, so you swipe in and then it's all you can eat. We have 3 of those, each of them are equally good. People would argue that they're not, but they are. One of them is actually in the freshman dorm, so that's really nice during blizzards. You don't have to go outside to get food, it's all right there. And then if you get tired of dining hall food, which you wouldn't normally because they change it up every day, we also have dining dollars, which act like money. So you can use that at Starbucks, at a sushi place. They have a lot of on-campus options for you. So really there's a lot of variety in terms of food. So student life at BU in terms of school spirit, so we don't have a football team, but hockey is very big in Boston. I will say that it's not the type of school spirit that's going to scoop you up and you're sort of just engulfed in it. You do have to make an effort to go to the hockey games, and once you're there, you feel like a part of this big school spirit. And that's a lot easier if you live on our west end of campus because you're so close to the hockey rink, whereas I was on East Campus. So for me, I was further from the games. I really had to make an effort to go and support my school in the hockey tournaments. There is school spirit there though, and we do find pride in a lot of other ways, whether it's like our community service or our student-like organizations. So it's not just funneled into a sports team. Clubs, we have over 200 clubs, I think, everything under the sun. So I found a club that I really liked for Irish dancing, which a lot of schools didn't have. So there, when you join clubs, you sort of land yourself in yet another community, and you find another group of friends, and then suddenly you're going from your first week of school where you're walking through campus and you don't recognize anyone, to suddenly the second week of school you can't go anywhere without recognizing a face and saying hello. So the more clubs you join, the easier that becomes and the more at home and the more comfortable you feel, definitely. Boston University Greek life, I believe it's about 20%. But it's definitely not going to take over your social life, so it's there if you want it, and if you do join, like a couple of my friends did, you do have the traditional experience that you would expect at any other school. If you choose to not go Greek like I did, you can ignore it, you'll never see it, it doesn't dominate anything that you do. And then there's no separation between people who go Greek and people who don't. Everyone coexists and is friendly. There's no sort of invisible barrier that separates social groups. So the weather in Boston, as everyone asks me, is like, oh my gosh, so cold. I know my first Christmas back, everyone got me socks to help me adjust to the weather. I was lucky and had a mild winter my first year, but even when it is colder is what I've heard, as long as you have a jacket and you're layering, there's really no reason you should be that cold when you're outside. If you are, you just add another layer, and then you get to class, you take it off, everyone does it. The days when it is really cold, you'll have a snow day, so you don't have to go outside if you don't want to. So to get to BU, I will usually fly from SFO to Boston Logan Airport using JetBlue. They have a big hub in both cities, so the direct flights are relatively non-expensive, and you have movies, which makes the 6-hour flight go a lot faster. Once you land in Boston, there is no shuttle. However, there are 2 options. You can use public transportation. So if I'm coming in, in the morning or the afternoon, that's a really easy way to get there. It's not as overwhelming or as scary as you might think. If I do come in later and I don't want to take the subway, Uber and Lyft, they're not allowed to pick you up from the airport, so there is a taxi service. However, at baggage claim, you can always find other BU students, and everyone's really friendly and they all want to share a cab. And so that's one way to sort of make a couple fast temporary friends, and you take the taxi in together. And from there, it's about 20 minutes. So that's one of the perks of being in the city, is that it's really easy to get to and from the airport. My first year, I came home twice. I did not come home for Thanksgiving because we only get 4 days, including the weekend. And so for me, it just didn't really make sense. But a lot of people do. I took the opportunity to take the train up to New York and spend Thanksgiving with one of my high school friends, which was really nice. So then I came home for winter break, which was about 3 to 4 weeks, I want to say. And then I did come home for spring break because we have that entire week. The only thing I would add is if you're looking and deciding between schools, just know that one, wherever you go, you're not cemented there. You don't have to stay there 4 years. You can always leave if it's not working.